2 Corinthians 10:3 says, "For though we walk in the flesh," we're in the flesh. All of us in this room are in the flesh. I don't see any little spirits floating around out here. We're still in the flesh. "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war according to the flesh." You understand that your battles in life are not against flesh and blood. There are spiritual things that are behind the controversy. There are spiritual forces that are behind the actions that you see in other people. If you try to deal with those things according to flesh and blood, you're now fighting the enemy in his arena. You don't want to fight him in his arena. You want to fight him in your arena, or in God's arena, Jesus' arena. "For though we walk in the flesh, we don't war according to the flesh." Verse 4. "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal," or fleshly, "but they are mighty in God for the pulling down of strongholds." Now, a stronghold is a thought or a way of thinking that has become ingrained in a person's life. Somebody may have been raised a certain way, and they were around poverty their whole life, and it's difficult for them to get that thinking out of their life. I see this happen also. I see children that are raised in a family that's sickly, and the children just grow up thinking that that's normal, and so they're geared towards that. So it's hard for them to get free from it. Why? Because that way of thinking has become a stronghold. Now, it takes effort. Now, think about it in battle, just by the word. If you're going to attack someone's stronghold, it got the name stronghold for a reason. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to bring some big guns to bear to attack that stronghold and defeat it. So Paul here says that your weapons, listen, your battle happens. We're in the flesh. You're battling in the flesh. We're walking in the flesh, but your battle is not fleshly. Your weapons are not fleshly. They are mighty in God for the pulling down of these strongholds. So how do you do this? How do you pull down these strongholds? Verse 5, casting down arguments. I actually like the way the King James Bible says that. King James Bible used the word imagination. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing every thought into captivity to the obedience of Christ. In other words, what he's saying is, before you get into the battle of something actually coming against you, most of the time that the battle is unleashed in your mind as thoughts. Those thoughts come to you and it scares you. You start giving voice to it, and then it starts bringing the thing to pass that you were afraid of. That's what happened to Job. "The thing that I have greatly feared has come upon me," Job said. So the Apostle Paul says, your weapons are mighty when you have these thoughts that come against you that are contrary to the knowledge of God. You take that thought captive. How do you take a thought captive? Can you outthink a thought? No. You cannot outthink a thought. You have to outtalk a thought. You can't outthink a thought. You have to outtalk a thought. When a thought comes to you, the way for you to get control of it is to open your mouth and say something. And it sure helps if that something that comes out of your mouth is the Word. That's the most powerful thing that can come out. See, it's your choice. If that wicked, nasty thought comes to you that you're not going to make it, if you open your mouth and agree with that thought, you're going to turn the thing into a stronghold. The way that you defeat it is by opening your mouth. I said, open your mouth. Say something at least loud enough to where you can hear it. You don't have to get up on the table in a restaurant and scream it to everybody, okay? Say it loud enough at least for you to hear it. Say what the Word says that will fight that thought that has come against you. And that's one of the ways, that's actually the main way that we cast care over the Lord is with our mouth. We cast care over it, and then the way we keep it off of us are by the words that we speak. Have I mentioned that it's really important what you say, that your words are really important? It seems like we keep coming back to this. Jesus must have known what he was talking about in Mark chapter 11, verse 23.